Hey, good evening, everybody. Wanted to jump on here and do a quick little YouTube live talking about the potential for some stormy weather ahead as we head throughout the week. I'm going to make this pretty brief. Just got done watching the Chiefs game, and it was definitely a good game for sure. I know a lot of you were watching football earlier, so I figured I'd wait till after the game to kind of do this quick little live update here. Anyway, we are talking about some very active weather ahead. We had some rain across our area today. And then as we head through, this week, we're going to get a little bit of a break here for Monday and Tuesday, more rain arriving as we get into Wednesday, and then the potential for some heavy rainfall and maybe some severe weather around here as we get into Thursday and into Friday. So something we're going to be watching pretty closely, but let me get to some graphics here and kind of show you what's going on as of now. So we have, looking at the satellite and radar composite across the country, not a whole lot going on. We did have that system move through Louisiana today. You can see that is kind of pushing off to our east now. Those are those higher cloud tops, colder cloud tops that you see moving in eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. So that's the system that brought some of the rain to the region for today. That is on the way out as we speak, but we have more active weather heading our way. So what I want to do now is kind of switch our graphics here and talk about what's coming our way as we head through the next several days. We'll start off looking at the North American model, actually, excuse me, the American model, the GFS, and this is what's going to be playing out over the next week. So this is the latest run here of the American model. This is kind of what it is showing us as we head through time. So again, this is where we are right now. This is that system that brought some of the rain to the region today. That is actually on the way out. So again, that's going to move out as we head through the next several hours here. You can see that's kind of moving out. And then we get into tomorrow morning. This is Monday morning. And again, that's already out of here. So I think tomorrow is going to be a drier day for most of the region. High pressure kind of builds in behind this system that moved through today. So that might bring us a little bit of sunshine tomorrow. All in all, not looking at a bad start to the week, a pretty decent Monday ahead. And then as we get into our Tuesday, still relatively quiet. Looks like rain chances are going to stay pretty low here for Tuesday as well. And then we get into midweek and things start to pick up in intensity. We start to get that next system coming through. And what we're watching here is this big area of low pressure, an upper level low, that's going to form off to our west. So that low, you can kind of see that developing there across southwestern Texas and into portions of New Mexico. That's what we call an upper level low. So, and it's cut off from the flow. It's a cut off low, which means that the jet stream is going to be off to the north. So this low pressure system is going to form out across Texas as we head through this week. But because it's kind of cut off from the main jet stream, it's just going to sort of sit there for several days, and that's going to bring us that heavy rainfall threat. So again, this is as we get into midweek. You can see that first round of rain starts to move in. That's your round of rain for Wednesday afternoon. So that could bring, some moderate to heavy rain showers across the area, nothing too significant. And then that's again for Wednesday. We get you into Thursday, and it looks like the latest model is kind of shifting that area of heavier rain a little farther to the northwest than it looked yesterday. But you can see that parts of the Arctic, as it looks mainly north of I-30, could see some heavier rainfall here on Thursday. And again, that's what it looks like by midday Thursday. Here's Thursday afternoon. You can see some heavy rain from Texas through Arkansas. And again, the latest forecast models have shifted the heaviest rainfall a little bit to the northwest of what it looked like yesterday, but still some heavy rainfall threats. And then this big line of storms is likely going to move through as we get into Thursday evening, according to the American model. And as this line moves through, there could be some severe weather. We're going to have to watch how much instability is present for this system, but there is the potential we could see maybe some severe weather. So we'll keep a close eye on that, of course, and kind of see how that plays out. But again, that's what it looks like as we get into our Thursday night across the area. And hold on one second. I'm trying to pull up a chat thing here so I can actually see if you guys have any questions or anything like that. But again, that's kind of what it looks like for Thursday evening across the region. And then we take you into Friday morning, and that system kind of moves on, and that's that. So when we look at our rainfall forecast, and again, this has actually come down quite a bit. Remember yesterday, those totals were pretty significant. When I did this yesterday, I was showing some totals that could be up to a foot. Latest forecast models have backed off on that quite a bit, which is a good thing. But still, some decent amounts possible as we head through. Let's see, this takes us all the way through this week, I believe. Yeah, so this goes through this entire week. So again, totals have really backed off, but still looking at maybe 3 to 6 inches of rain across the area as the system kind of comes in, and that would be during the day on Thursday and maybe lingering into Friday as well. So let me see if you guys have any questions. I don't see anything so far. And again, still kind of getting used to this whole YouTube thing. So and we'll see if you guys have any questions in the next couple minutes here. But again, that's our rainfall forecast, at least going forward for the next several days. And then as we get beyond that time, there could be some more rain adding up. So again, it's still a pretty active forecast, and we could see some heavy rainfall across parts of the area. But again, not quite to the extreme levels that we were thinking potentially yesterday, which is good. So that's the American model. Let's take a look at the European model here. And it kind of shows a similar forecast, a similar pattern. So as we look at the precip forecast here, this was today's system kind of rolling through. And again, that's kind of moving off to our east now. So we get a little bit of a break. And again, this is the European model that we're looking at right now. So this is just a different forecast model. So we do dry out a little bit over the next couple of days. It still looks like Monday and Tuesday are mainly dry days at this point. We get you into Wednesday, and here comes that next round of rain. But again, latest forecast models kind of pushing this system a little bit farther back to the west and off to our north. So it actually maybe looking like areas north of I-30 could be more impacted. This is the, again, European models. You can see it's a little bit farther to the west than the American model was. And this is as we get into Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, and we take you into Thursday, though, and it gets very active. And again, this is when we have that potential for, I think, some severe weather in some areas. So really the time frame to watch right now is going to be Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. I think that's the main time frame to watch for some very heavy rainfall and the potential for maybe some severe weather. We'll have to see just how much instability we can actually get. But Thursday is your day to watch for sure. And again, this is going to be a very slow moving front, so flash flooding is going to be a threat. This is as we get into Thursday evening. Look at that line just slowly pushing across the area. And again, that could have the threat of some severe weather. So we're going to have to watch that pretty closely here and kind of see how that evolves. But that would be, again, Thursday into Thursday night. And then the system kind of moves out on Friday. And then we get a little bit of a break, but looking at the long-term forecast, there are some signs that we could see some winter weather moving back in. So we get another strong, one of these Arctic high-pressure systems coming down and potentially some very cold air with that. And that could get interesting. Now, this is looking way, way down the road. This is as we get towards, like February 8th or 9th. So we're looking pretty far out here. But there is some consistency in the forecast model suggesting that we get another blast of Arctic air. So let's take a look at the temperatures. And again, we're going to be very warm for the next several days. We could be talking some 60s throughout this week, even getting into the 70s by this next weekend. So it's going to get very warm there. And then as we get you into the following week, so this is as we get into the first, 8-9 days of the new month, here comes that next blast of cold air. So this could be by February 10th. Again, we're looking way out here, but the potential is there for another Arctic blast to come on into the Arctotex. And as we look at the American model, temperature-wise, kind of showing the same thing. So look at how warm it's going to be. This is going to be a very warm week of weather. Those temperatures are going to really get quite warm. In fact, I think we're looking at highs potentially in the 70s as we head through the next 60s and 70s, definitely a possibility for the next couple of weeks. Look at that warm air just surging in. And then we take you all the way into, this is February 6th. So still looking at some very warm air, and then eventually here comes the colder air. So again, all forecast models at this point are in pretty good agreement that the cold air is going to return as we head through February 8th, February 9th, February 10th. Somewhere in that time frame, it looks like that cold air is going to return to the region, and it could be pretty cold once again. So again, we're going to watch that pattern closely. I don't think winter is done yet. I think we're going to have a couple more potential rounds of some cold weather to come. But again, let's go back to the European model. Let's show you the rainfall forecast with this. And as you can see here, let's go to our precip accumulations. And this is your combined rainfall forecast. And you can see this is over the next, 2 weeks. So this is basically looking at the next 2 weeks combined. So it's not all going to come down at once, but as you see here, widespread area where we could see, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, and that could cause some issues, in the region. So let me try to pull up a different graphic. And let's see here. Got a few people on right now. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I think you can type the questions straight into YouTube if I'm not mistaken. And for those wondering, I still have my Facebook account, and I'll still be doing Facebook Lives probably more often, but I'm kind of dabbling in the whole YouTube world and just kind of seeing what that's all about. So let's go back to some of our graphics here. And what I want to do actually is show you the, let's look at the rainfall forecast. So again, I know it's a little hard to see here, but when you look at that, northeast Texas, we're talking portions of Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma, and much of Louisiana in that red area. And if you look at the legend there, that's like 4 or 5 inches of rain. Now, this is going to be over the next 7 days. So this is our combined 7-day rainfall forecast. But that would bring the potential for some flooding concerns. So that's your combined rainfall for the next week. We are in excessive risk of some heavy rainfalls. We get to day 5. That's your slight risk area. Now, this is from the Weather Prediction Center. So that slight risk is an area where we could see some flash flooding, and that is mainly in that Thursday to Thursday night time frame that I was talking about. So the potential for this upcoming Thursday of some flash flooding, and again, the risk for maybe some severe weather. Let's look at the Climate Prediction Center's forecast. And again, this is for day 5, I believe. Let's see, day 5. So that's Thursday. So that's our severe risk area for Thursday. But then again, you see that's out way to our west into Texas. But as we get into Thursday night, that area could shift a little bit farther to the east. So it's something we're going to be watching. It kind of starts off in West Texas, moving into Central Texas. But I do think that when we're going to show you future updates this week from the Storm Prediction Center, I do think that that area of severe risk is going to get a little bit farther to the east, maybe closer to the Arklatex. So we're going to watch that closely. Again, let's take a look at the. Let's just take a look at the rainfall forecast again. So this is from the European forecast model. This is from the GFS model. And again, you can see it's not quite as intense. It's not as impressive as what we saw yesterday. Yesterday when I showed these graphics, it was looking like some major rainfall. I mean, when I showed this same model yesterday, it was showing up to a foot of rain. And I thought all along that was a little bit excessive. I don't think we're going to get, nearly that much rain. But this is a good idea. I think this is a little bit better handle on it for this upcoming week. And it looks like the area of heavy rain has kind of shifted farther to the north. So that would include portions of Arkansas, Oklahoma, into northern portions of the Arklatex. And here's the latest model run, the new one that just came in. And as you can see, yeah, we do have that potential there of some very heavy rain, and that would include parts of the Arklatex. So again, it's something we're going to be watching. But as far as that severe weather potential, let's go back to our graphics here. Again, this is the forecast model showing the expected rainfall over the next week or so. And we'll take it back to, so we had that rain today. We get a little bit of a break for the next couple days. We get into Wednesday. That's Wednesday. More rain moves in. Then the big system comes through, and this is going to be Thursday evening. So again, big system comes through Thursday evening. Big line of storms coming through the Arklatex. And I do think that there could be the risk of some flash flooding with this. And the potential is there for severe weather, but there are a couple of things working against severe weather at this point. And number one, this is kind of interesting. We haven't talked about this too much, but all that snow that they had along the Gulf Coast, we had that big snowstorm last week along the Gulf, Florida, South Louisiana, South Texas, even out into the Gulf of Mexico. They had quite a bit of snow. And so what that system did last week is it cooled the water temperatures. It cooled the actual ocean temperatures in the Gulf. And so, that's going to factor into our severe risk, I think, as we head towards later this week, because the Gulf of Mexico, or the Gulf temperatures right along the northern Gulf Coast have cooled into the upper 50s and low 60s, and that is really cold water out in the Gulf. And so as those winds come in from the south out ahead of this cold front, it's going to tap into some of that cooler air, and that's actually going to stabilize things a bit. So I think the fact that the Gulf is a little bit cooler than normal could actually play into our favor and could actually reduce that severe weather threat later this week. We'll see how that pans out, because when you get a cold front coming into the Arklatex or coming into the southeast this time of year, you pull in that moisture off the Gulf. You get those south winds pulling in all that moisture, and typically those Gulf temperatures are in the 60s and 70s, and that provides a lot of energy, a lot of warmth, a lot of humidity. But again, because the waters down there are so much colder than normal, when we get those south winds coming in, that could actually kind of reduce the instability. So that could work in our favor, maybe reducing the severe risk. Nonetheless, though, I think we're looking at some heavy rain. Again, that is that's the American model. You can see that line pushes in Thursday evening. We look at the European model here, kind of showing the same sort of deal. And it's remarkable. The agreement that we're seeing in the forecast models this far out in advance is pretty remarkable. So it gives us pretty high confidence that this is what's going to play out. But both models are in agreement that we get this big line of storms coming through. It's going to be a slow moving line, and that'll be Thursday into Thursday night. And that's going to bring, I think, for sure, I think we're going to have potentially a flooding risk. That flash flood threat, I think, is going to be fairly high. But the big question now is how much severe weather are we going to get? And again, that is still a little bit up in the air at this point. So going to keep a close eye on that for sure. Don't see a lot of people asking questions, and I'm not sure if you can just type it in there. That's why I kind of enjoy doing the Facebook Lives a little bit better, because you can ask more questions on there. But nonetheless, we are going to get back to the graph. I just want to talk about one more thing here, and then I'm going to end this. I want to talk about, people have been asking a lot about, are we going to have any more winter weather? So let's kind of dive into that a little bit. Let me zoom into our area just a little bit closer. So again, as far as winter weather potential, I'll tell you this straight up. We're almost to the end of January, getting into February now. I don't think we are quite done with the winter weather in the Arctic just yet. I think the pattern is still favorable, that we're probably going to see one or two more big Arctic cold fronts come in that are going to bring some very cold air. And so, I wouldn't rule out at all another event where we get some sort of winter precip. So that is a possibility. And I'll show you that here on this forecast model. Again, this is the European model that we're looking at right now. And so again, we're going to go way, way far out in the future here. So I'm going to take you through this week. Again, this is our midweek system. This is Wednesday, Thursday, into Friday of this week. There comes that big front. And that's going to bring that potential for some stronger storms, again, Thursday evening. And then as we look ahead to the following weekend, so we're looking at about a week from now, that all clears out. So we get a little bit of a break during the following weekend. In fact, next weekend, we're talking highs in the 60s and 70s. So it's going to get very warm. And then we get past that into the week 2 time frame. So we're getting out into like way, way out in the future here. This is as we get towards, where are we here? We're to February 4th. So this is like 9 days out from now. So we're looking way out. But the pattern is favorable as we look towards maybe the middle part. The first week or two of February, it looks like some colder air could start to come in. So here comes that Arctic front, that next big front coming in. This is probably around February 7th, so we're looking way out. But watch this. So the Arctic air comes in, and then, yes, that is potentially winter precip returning to the Arctic by about February 9th. So way, way out in the future, but that is a possibility that we could see another round of winter weather. And in addition to that, take a look at the temperatures that we're forecasting. So this is pretty interesting too. So again, we'll go through this week, and this is going to be a fairly warm week for us overall. So kind of go through this, and I know these numbers are a little hard to see. I apologize for that, but basically all you need to look at are the oranges and the yellows on there. That's the warm air. So we have that all this week. It's going to be a very warm week. I mean, look at that. By the end of this week, we could see upper 60s in the forecast. We get into this upcoming weekend. It's going to be warm as well. And then looking way down the road, it gets very, very warm as we get to the first couple days of February here. Could be talking some highs in the 70s. Look at all that warm air. But here comes that next Arctic cold front. Look at this. Watch. So as we get towards, later in the month, here comes that cold air. See all that cold air returning to the area? So that's as we get towards, February 10th, which is like way, way out in the future here. But I do want to show you one more thing before I end this. I want to show you the Climate Prediction Center's long-term outlook. And this kind of gives us a good idea of what to expect as we look way out into the future. So our temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days, again, that's our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. And you can see it is going to be warm. I mean, we're talking well above average temperatures across the central plains, southern plains, and the southeast. I mean, places that had snow last week could be talking highs approaching 80 over the next 6 to 10 days. So crazy, crazy swings in our weather across the country. So that's our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. But then we look at our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, and look at that. You see that colder air starting to dive in. So that's that next potential Arctic front. And then where you get that battleground between the really cold air coming in from the northwest and that warm, humid Gulf air, right in that area where you see those two meeting, where you see the cold air meeting up with that warm air, that's where we have some volatile weather. That's where we could have potentially some strong storms and maybe some severe weather. And the pattern for the next couple of weeks is more favorable for some severe weather here in the Arctic. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And we are right in that battleground area where we do have that potential, of some severe weather. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. Of course, the heavy rainfall threats as well. And we'll just kind of be watching things for you throughout the next several days and throughout the next several weeks, really, because it looks like it is going to stay pretty active. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this now. Let me know what you think of these YouTube lives. I'd appreciate some feedback on that. And go ahead and, if you wouldn't mind, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd appreciate that as well. And of course, I haven't forgotten about Facebook, and I know most of you follow me on there, so I will continue to do Facebook Lives as well. But anyway, guys, you have a great night and a good work week ahead, and I'll see